Hello. I hope you're doing good. Do you know those moments when you just have like an idea and you just have to do it? I just had that because I actually just freshly out of the bath and, you know, no makeup, no nothing, but who freaking cares? I don't right now because um I want to talk about something. It's a serious topic. It's for both men and women, but basically for women because I keep seeing posts on Instagram. Also, here on YouTube, I saw one or two videos about women's safety. And I think that's something that's really like it's super important because everywhere in the whole world, we women have to fear walking home, um, you know, just walking around. Sometimes, I mean, in the day it's not as bad. I know here in the forest where I live close by, as a woman alone, you should be careful as well. Um, in the evenings, while you walk home, um, and I live in Switzerland, that does not mean we are safe here. I know that in some other countries, it's like a no go that you walk around as a woman. And I just want to talk about my experience and also talk about what I learned over all those years. I'm old, I have white hair, I'm this old to have white hair. Okay. So, I also made my experiences with walking home and being scared to death. So, also, when I was like 16 or something, my mom was like, you're getting to that age where you go out, you go to a disco, you go start going to a club or to a bar, or you go out with your friends, and then maybe, your friend does not live close by and you come home alone. Because, of course, we did not have the money to take a cab all the time, right? In Switzerland, cabs are super expensive. So I went to a self-defense course. My mom made me do that, which was not so successful because we had some sort of an exam. So we had to go to the forest. Oh my God, I remember this as if it was yesterday. We had this exam. I went there with my friend who was a year younger than me. She still is, I guess. She's just not my friend anymore. Like, I don't see her anymore. Um, so we went to the forest, and like before, we learned how to, get out of this, or when somebody grabs us, like all those techniques we learned. And then the last day, it was like an exam. So they made us go to the forest, and one of our coaches was waiting behind the trees in the forest. So it was not, it was like starting to get dark. So, the nobody likes to be in the forest when it's dark. I mean, yeah. So, okay, me and my friend, we were supposed to walk and pretend nothing is, and then suddenly one or both of the coaches run out of the forest to grab us. Okay, so we walk, and then this guy jumps out of the forest to try to grab me, and I just could not stop laughing. Instead of defending myself, I almost my pants. I was laughing. I was, when you cry, like this is what I did. And then he was like, "No, girls, you got it." And, and my friend started to laugh as well. And he was like, "Okay, let's, do that. It's a serious thing. If there is somebody trying to rape you, you're not laughing." And we're like, "Yeah, okay, put on the serious face. Okay, let's do it again." All right. Second time, it just happened again. I just could not stop laughing. Even my friend could not stop laughing. So we kind of did not pass that part. But, at the end we had a talk, and he was like, some people cannot act. I cannot act. I definitely cannot act at all. Like, maybe I can a little bit, with kids, but I cannot act these kind of things, right? So one thing, that's number one, what I learned in that course, which I will never forget: have some things on your keys, right? I have a little Buddha, I have my favorite sneaker, I have, actually this I only have since last week, but have some things that are hard on your key. Keep your key in your hands, when you walk around. One thing was that if somebody gets too close, you put your key between your fingers so you can stab him, kind of a thing, which, I can barely hold this, so I hold it that in case somebody, gets too close, I can go like this, okay? I have to be careful that I don't break my laptop. Keep something hard in your hands. Put some stuff, on your keychain. It's super good, for the first bam defense. That was number one. Okay, so I don't know if you're interested, but I had two situations I freaked out. That was when I was like 21. I moved out from home. Yes, in Switzerland, we move out from home in the beginning of our 20s. We get raised to do our own household to make life easier for our parents. That's one of the culture blends things, right? All right. So I moved out from home, and I love my family, right? You must know that. I deeply love my family, my parents, my siblings. We're very close, although we don't all live together. So I think I even was at my parents' for dinner, and then, took the bus, went home. No, I did not go home. I got out of the bus, and then I had to walk like 5 minutes. But it was like one side is houses where people live, and one side is trees. And it was dark. So I got out of the bus. I started to walk towards my home. And then this drunken guy, older guy, started to walk behind me. At first, I didn't care. I was just like, okay, drunken guy. And then he wanted to talk to me, and I just kept on walking. And then he started to get angry because I didn't react, because obviously he was drunk or even on drugs, I don't know. So he, started to scream at me. He was like, stop, calling me really bad words. And I just didn't react. And then he started to run. And I was like, oh my God, got my key out. I didn't have it out then before because I felt safe. I live in Switzerland, very often, you can just walk around freely. And I was even close to my neighborhood. So, yeah. Anyway, and then he started to run and get really, really, really aggressive. And he was like, I'm going to rape you. I'm going to eat you for dessert. And I was like, I started to run too. And then, I couldn't hear him anymore. So I started to walk because I was like, I'm younger. I, run faster. I was not a runner back then. Now I love to run. But anyway, he then suddenly catched up with me. Like, he was super close, and there was nobody on the street. So I, started to run. I told him to leave me alone, and he was like, wait, I'm eating you for dessert. So I had to run over the street, and then, like, over that street, like, the next house was where I lived. So I ran in, opened the door like as fast as I could, and the second I closed the door, he was banging on that door. It was like, I lived in an apartment building, so it was luckily not my apartment door. But he started to bang on that door. I'm gonna eat you for dessert. Next time you're gonna come out, I'm gonna kill you. And, like, super freaky, super freaky. So I, went up in my apartment and was safe. But yeah, then a few weeks later, everything calmed down, but where is it? I always had my key out. Actually, not true. I had my key out, but I also had a little Swiss knife on my keychain. So actually, I walked around with an open knife. Don't do that, because in case something happens, especially here in Switzerland, it can go against you. If I would use that knife to the guy who tries to do something and I kill him, I go to jail as well. Swiss laws. Anyway, so some weeks have passed. I sit in the bus, and this young guy started to talk to me in the bus, which is not so normal. We Swiss are mostly all the time for ourselves. And he's like starting to talk, but then, I'm friendly, I'm nice, I talk to people, I like people. And we talked, and then he was like, where you live? And I was like, down the road. And yeah, I had a boyfriend at this time who sometimes was at my place. Not that day, but I lied. And then, he asked like if this is close to the fair. We have like a fair, what is it called? Fair place, like where they have fairs, exhibition square. So I lived very close to that. And then he was like, oh, is that, by the exhibition square? And I was like, yeah, super close. And he was like, oh, there are hotels. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, he has no place to sleep. And I was like, okay. He was like, can I sleep at your place? And I was like, no. And he was like, why? I don't have money, la, la, la. And I was like, and he said he missed the train. And then I was like, no, you cannot. And I told him, like, to go to the exhibition square, I was like, you go with the bus 2 stops more, and then you can take the tram 1 stop, and you're right there. I live a little bit away from that. And he was like, no, 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 you can walk with me. And I was like, no, you cannot walk with me. And he was like, yeah, don't worry. I got out, and he started to walk with me and tried to get to my place. And I was like, no, I live then I started to lie, I live with my fiance. That's, I think, what I told. That he cannot come, and, and he was like, yeah, you can talk to him, maybe you can sleep. And I was like, no, get a hotel. There are several other hotels, also cheaper hotels. I was like, I cannot do that. I don't let anybody in my apartment, no strangers, right? So he walked, and I was like almost freaking out while we were walking. I was so scared because, again, it was the same road, houses on one side, trees on the other side, and he could have easily. He was a young, strong, even good-looking guy, but I was scared as fuck because he could have easily grabbed me and, took me to a corner for sure. And I know that these things happened before. So yeah. I luckily got out of this situation easily. No, not easily, but I got out of this situation. Then at the, where we crossed like the exhibition square and where I had to walk, he actually left. So it was good. Yeah. So one thing, what I learned over all those years, this is for the women. If you walk, always put your shoulder backs, don't our moms always say, put your shoulder back. Walk with a freaking attitude. Walk like you own the world. Always. When you're out alone, walk like, like, you just walk. You walk your step, you walk like you own that ground. Really, do it. Like, like you're not scared. Don't act like you're scared, because that's your weakness. Walk straight up. Okay? Please, ladies, walk in an attitude. That's what I do now if I walk. I don't walk alone, home very often anymore. And sometimes in summer, it's like two stops or something. I walk because the weather is beautiful and I'm out and I'm happy and things like that. If you have a chance, take a cab. If you don't, walk with a freaking attitude. Walk with your key in your hands, or maybe you have a pepper spray, or be on the phone with a friend. Tell your friends where you're going. What I always do is when I have a friend coming to my place and she goes home, or I go to her place and she comes. I go back home. We always text each other when we're back home, like, I'm home, good night, thank you for the evening, whatever. But walk with a freaking attitude. Like, you're the strongest woman on this freaking planet, okay? And now to the men. How can you help us? How? Don't talk to a woman when she's walking around alone. Except you see she's maybe in a dangerous situation or in a weird situation. Go over and say, hey, Anne, hey, Miriam, hey, whatever. How are you? Like, and then make sure, like, are you okay? Or walk on the other side of the street just to check on her that she's safe. If you have the feeling she gets followed, make sure, maybe you make some eye contact and then go, like, ask her, like, are you okay? Like, can I help? Anything, and she can give you a sign. But please, if you see a woman alone and she does not feel safe or something, please don't go talk to her. Go walk on the other side of the street, or walk past her and say, like, I'm sorry, like, and pass on her. Because when we're walking alone, it's really scary if you hear steps behind you. It really, really is scary. Like, you can tell me whatever you want. I think every single woman had a situation where she felt unsafe when a man was walking behind her. Although this, I mean, we all know mostly all men are great, all men are supportive and all. But, if you do that, please, 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 please. That's such a long video I'm doing. That was not my purpose, but maybe it's something you can take home with you and take to your heart. And please, we all have to support each other, right? We all know the world is not always a happy place. The world is not a safe place, especially for us women, and actually, let me tell you, it doesn't matter the age. I've heard stories or read stories in a newspaper of even older women, you know, being raped or being abused while they were home, walking home, going home. Sometimes it's not, maybe you visit, like three streets down the road, you visit somebody and you walk. I mean, here in Switzerland, we walk so much, right? I mean, Sean knows, right? That, I always like, oh, let's walk, let's walk, let's walk. We don't take the car for everything. We, like, if I have to go, let's say, 10 minutes down the road, something, or go visit somebody, I walk. Or I take my bicycle. That's another thing. A lot of people take the bicycle as well. I'm not, I like to ride my bicycle, but more like in the forest in summer, taking it easy. So please, dear men, dear women, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Let's just show the world that we can be safe together, and please, if you have a son, educate him. If you have a little brother, educate him. Tell him that a woman is not, we're not like a phone. You cannot just take us, right? You don't use us, okay? A woman's body is a treasure, We are the ones, giving birth. We are, mothers, sisters, daughters. We are not in, like, in all ways as strong as men are. And a lot of men think they have the power over us, but, we can have power together, right? It's not about men and women and me. I'm really sick of this. Like, we all are the same. It's the same with skin color, religion, and stuff like that. But we all have our strength and we all have our weaknesses, and we all know how many women get raped each day, right? I know that a lot of things happen in the families. I heard about this. I think every woman has a story to tell, and I'm pretty sure that there are men who have stories to tell too. But yeah, let's just be nice and lovely to each other. Love each other and take care of each other. Yeah, that's just something I just wanted to get rid of. I don't know why. I'm just here telling you this. So I'll have my coffee, my Goa cup. And, during that chit chat, all of my hair is almost dry. Now I'm gonna go bake a cake because I will have a little culture blend tonight. I am invited from an Indian couple to dinner. So I will bring a dessert. I won't tell what I bring, otherwise she will see it or they will see it. So please take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Stay healthy. Okay. And if you don't follow us yet or subscribe to us yet, would you please do that right here? Because we really, really, really would appreciate. And if you want to see more videos where I just talk, sometimes I have these days that I talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Then I have days I don't talk and talk and talk and talk. But that, like maybe there is something you want to know about Switzerland. Maybe there is something you want to know about women's safety, men's safety, something that makes the culture so different. Please let us know in the comments. And yeah, have a great weekend.